Hi, I'm Leslie Demai. This is Ethereal Aeons. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about the difference between escaping and transcending. So often we've heard the word escaping mentioned when it comes to the matrix, escaping our inner demons, escaping our imbalances. In my last video, I talked about the imbalances of our gunas. Our gunas are essentially what make up the material nature of reality. Externally and internally, they are attributes. And we have sattva, which are spiritual attributes, which are in line with higher frequencies and higher states of consciousness. And then we have tamas, which is being lethargic, lazy, junk food, drinking in a dingy bar, the color black. And then we have rajas, which is red, fire, passion, action. You can think type A personality, on the go. And so these imbalances make up the material world and what happens with us internally. So I talked in depth in this video about how these gunas really work through us. They are the archetypes that map out the entire network in reality. And it's really about transcending them, not escaping them. So I wanted to talk to you about the difference, and we're going to start off simply by looking at the root word of both of these commonly used words. So let's start with escaping. Escape comes from the old French word échapper, to slip out of a cape. It implies fleeing or hiding from uncomfortable truths, emotions, or responsibilities. In a spiritual context, this is often called spiritual bypassing. So you're trying to avoid what is there in a sense of desperation. And I know how that feels. And we all reach moments in our life where we feel this way. And for many people, it's this chronic, dull feeling that's residing within us. A lot of it has to do with unaddressed wounds and samskaras. Samskaras are karmic impressions that are within your subtle body, and they influence you. And the programming that really is what is making up what you think you interpret in the reality. So just to hear this definition, you're trying to slip out of a cape so that you leave the person chasing you with the cape in hand and you flee off. See, this is the mentality of the victim. This is not the warrior. So escaping is the opposite of being a warrior. And when we look at the devatas and their archetypes, they're always warriors. And in spirituality, as humans, facing our inner demons, our samskaras from this lifetime and from other lifetimes that carry on, our entanglements with others of lower consciousness and vibration, we have to take that role and that initiative. If not, you will get swallowed by the Maya and you will entangle yourself and you're not able to really work through anything. You can't unravel the knots. And so let's go into now transcendence, because we're very familiar with these words, but looking at the root word really allows us to digest what we speak. We speak very freely. People have diarrhea mouth and they find comfort in stating like their fears and stating what they don't want. It's much more difficult to state what you do want and what you hope for and your desires and to like declare your dharma. It feels a lot more awkward, doesn't it? And so when we talk about mantras or even affirmations, it feels so weird to say what we truly want and wish for out loud initially for most people, because we're so burdened down by the programming and what we're used to actually speaking like, which is typically lack mindset. So we don't usually wake up saying, I feel fantastic. I feel like today is going to be the best day of my life. And I'm so ready to absorb in presence and to really embrace the beauty around me. Usually we wake up and it's like, oh, I didn't get enough sleep. I feel like crap. I need coffee. Do I really want to go to the gym? I mean, this is like modern dialogue. So we can notice how odd it would be to encounter someone speaking so like highly of themselves and of life. Transcendence, though, let's get into that. It means, it's a Latin, and it comes from the word transcendere, to climb beyond, meaning rising above limitations while remaining fully present in the world. It is an act of expansion where one acknowledges pain, fear, or difficulty, but chooses not to be defined or bound by them. It transforms the individual's relationships with reality without denying reality itself. Now I'm going to go ahead and read on here. I just did a simple search online. Okay. So transcendence literally means to climb beyond, to pass beyond a limit. And escaping is to cloak or cape. X is out of, kappa is cloak or cape. So you originally can just picture someone pursuing the caped person, and the caped person escapes by just taking the knot out, and then he runs off. So no matter what, that they might have escaped at that moment, but what's pursuing them is still there. So it's a very distinct, you can just picture this in your mind. And so this is why the yogi transcends the three gunas. They transcend the lower aspects that are expected in the reality. It's not that the lower aspects are the enemy. It's just your inability to realize you are not them. And the inability to rise up above all of it, even knowing that it's not you, but it's the nature of reality, is a lot to take in. So I understand the perspective of wanting to escape. I feel like many times in my life, I've used this approach. So I'm speaking from experience, but really transcending and transcendence is the way of the yogi. And we talk a lot about ascension and ascending. So I wanted to talk about the root word, the root of ascending. And it originated in the 1610s. And it means proceeding from a lower position to a higher. It is derived from the verb ascend, which entered Middle English in the late 14th century. Okay. The Latin term ascendere combines the prefix ad, to, and the verb scendere, to climb, rise, or mount. And it's traced back to the Proto-Indo-European root scend, which is to spring, leap, or climb. So we can see the differences here between ascension, ascending, transcending, and escaping. And they all have their own niche, and they all play a role in our remembering of our inner infinite nature and how we can get past the illusions of the reality. So I hope this just reminds you. I'm sure you already knew this in many ways. I'm sure you're picking up on this, but it's just so easy, again, to be in the lower nature and speak without really recognizing the implications that has on your growth and how it really stunts your growth and keeps you in that state of feeling like you need to escape rather than ready to rise above. So thank you for watching. I want to clarify, I'm using, and I probably should have done this in the beginning, I'm using a piece of rosemary. I burnt a little bit of it, but it's a piece of rosemary. And it just helps project my voice better because both of my mics are not doing a very good job. So I don't know if you recommend a mic out there, but I might end up getting one of the table podcast style mics. We'll see. But for now, thank you for watching. Please hit the like button, hit the bell button. Join me on Substack if you want to learn more about mantra, tantra, Vedanta, and occultism. On there, I have articles and I do post oracle readings on there too. And if you want to learn more about the Gunas that I mentioned, check out my last video. All of the links will be in my description. Thank you for being here, and I will see you very soon.